For those of you who haven't met me, my name's Tom. I work for CAE, and I've been here for quite a while now, so just want to give a bit of background on myself. I originally had nothing, I did not come from a healthcare background at all, so I was an electrical technician, actually, and by the time I kind of got fed up of crawling around in people's lofts and things like that, thought it was time for a change, and I, by hook or by crook, ended up here. And I started at CAE as a customer service technician, so mainly going out, visiting customer sites a lot of customer sites abroad as well. So kind of going all over the place, fixing bits and pieces, doing things like this. As I stayed here a bit longer, my role kind of adjusted and I started doing more things like customer training, distributor training, also kind of in-house training as well. So training our own people as well, things like this. Then I kind of got involved in this is all going to tie together really nicely. So, and then I got involved in our AV side. So while we were already installing, you may have seen the learning space equipment we have down in the foyer at the back. But I kind of got involved more in project management and kind of helping develop the hardware we're using as well, and seeing what other kind of tools and things we could use to try and improve certain parts of the system we're using. That was nearly 10 years ago, so I've been here 10 years almost. It's been a long time. So I'm part of the furniture. So hi, thanks for coming. So COVID, that's been said once or twice, right? As I mentioned, the main kind of part of my role as a customer service technician is going out, going places, visiting people, going into centres, going into hospitals, getting on aeroplanes, trains, all of this kind of stuff. So when the pandemic hit and we all got stuck at home for a bit, and then slowly we were allowed to start getting out again, but we had to kind of work out what can we do? What can we offer? How are we going to operate? We needed to change the way we were working. Okay, and we had to kind of think quickly on our feet to keep relevant, keep offering something that would be useful to our customers, but also our distributors as well. So kind of one of the first things we started doing was a big program of distributor training. This was split between basically all of the international customer service team. So what we do, we take all of our complete product line, we'd split responsibilities between the team, and we would basically storyboard the session. So we'd do like a complete, so for example, you can see here, I did learning space training. That was kind of what I was tasked with doing. We do a number of sessions throughout the day, but we keep the sessions to like a bite size, small manageable thing, because the way we were doing this was streaming through Teams effectively. So we had to come up with a way of arranging our audio. Okay, so we could stream a team session and with screen sharing, still grab that audio and put it through a Teams call rather than learning space. We still wanted to capture this in learning space as well, but this is hence this little diagram of magic. So once we did that, we broke these sessions down into like 30 minutes, because you've all been on Teams calls, right? After about 20, 25, 30 minutes, it gets kind of heavy going, no? I don't know. And if you're going through a lot of technical training as well, there can be quite a lot to follow. So we would, for example, with learning space, we really storyboarded it so we could teach people to become a planner for an AV system, become an installer, and then become a teacher. Okay, so planning, how do we do this? How do you install an AV system? What cameras do you need? What microphones do you need? How do you cable these? How do you plan this? That kind of thing. When we got onto the hardware, which you can see here, so this is a session we did basically going through what I've got here is all the audio hardware that we can use. Okay, not just the generic stuff that we send out, like a boundary mic, but we were talking about different types of microphone, different types of audio, different pickup fields, frequencies, and things like that. So stuff that people usually they'd get sent a system with, this is the microphone you need, without not really knowing why or what it was doing. So that's kind of something that we got through, and it was pretty successful. I think we were hitting up to 80 people per session. So we had people from all around the world dialing in. We'd start the session. It was kind of a bit eerie because you were sat in an office on my own, knowing there's lots of people listening to you, but you can't see them, you can't hear them, and you're just trusting that they're there. But it kind of worked out. It was good. And we did this across our whole product line. So we had people doing simulator training where they'd go through things like pneumatic diagrams, electrical diagrams, and stuff like that. All again in bite-size sections. Okay, so clean, easy to follow, hopefully not too long and dull. That was the idea. Once we kind of got through this program, we started having to think about how we can still support people. So a lot of our customers were still getting systems. They still had problems with their systems, and they saw this as a good time to, okay, we've got a bit of downtime, let's get everything fixed. But I still can't go there. So how do we do it? Now, everyone's kind of done the whole phone call thing or emails, and it can get confusing. You get a load of email chains. What's wrong with it? It doesn't work. Okay. So we kind of started thinking, how can I use this system and get kind of better, clearer views that are useful to people? Like if, let's say, for example, I want to look at a very finite piece of equipment, having a ceiling mounted camera zoomed right in and then trying to hold it up is like, not great. So we started thinking about things we already have. And this is when I kind of thought, maybe I can introduce the HoloLens. So we were using HoloLens already. Have any of you guys used a HoloLens before? Cool. Okay, so it's basically a computer you wear on your head. Big lawnmower man. It's not new. I've got a little short video of something we did. So what you can see, these are the exact same two cameras you just saw in our office. But the third one, I ported HoloLens into our learning space system. So you could really kind of get in and show what you're seeing. So let me just, at this point, we need to get the baby. Make sure the baby is turned on by using the power button at the back. If you look inside, you'll see a little green light. Okay, I trimmed it. It was like an hour long. But the advantage of doing this is you can really kind of get in close and, like see. It's kind of cool. And this is me dressed as Super Mario. I didn't realize that was there till now. Good. Once we did this, we were kind of thinking, okay, this could be useful. What other tools have we got? What else can we use? And what platforms can we do things on? So I kind of put together some kind of brain dump of different things we could use. So we were already using things like a software called AnyDesk or TeamViewer for anyone who may be familiar with that. What you can do with that is if someone has a computer, you can basically dial into their computer and control it. So we've used things like this in the past for carrying out something like learning space training. So again, during COVID times, I was not able to go and fulfill a basic orientation of a learning space system. So the way we got around it was opening a call and then me team viewing into their system. And then I could just basically talk through everything I was doing, but control their system while they were observing and just go through every tile, saying what everything does, how we're going to build the system from a software point of view. Okay, so obviously I can't kind of go into hardware. I can't move things around and show them. But this was kind of enough to get them ready to practice using their system. So when they start again, they're already competent to start using it and they're not going to have to play catch up. Then we kind of thought, so the HoloLens thing I've got here, we talk about it in a minute because we're still kind of trialing a lot of this stuff. But this is kind of another tool that we found. phone calls, like people started, a lot of FaceTime, a lot of WhatsApp and things like that. It's not always ideal. Not everyone wants something like WhatsApp on their phone or things like this, right? So we found a tool called Teletech that we are kind of using quite a lot. And we found that it was really good for kind of basic troubleshooting. So someone, like the instance I gave earlier where what's wrong with your simulator? It doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? I don't know, it just doesn't work. What we could do with this, previously, we would usually have to, okay, we'll come and see you, we'll come out. Not possible, okay? So we could set up a Teletech session so we could already diagnose with their help what might be wrong, what's playing up. Which is good, but has its downfalls. And I'm going to show you a quick Teletech session here. So basically, it's the software does a call to a smartphone. Okay, it's either app-based, or we can just set up a link that the customer would follow, and then the call already starts with their camera on. You have the ability to do things like zoom, do a small video of something, take a screenshot, or kind of place markers on their screen. Okay, and that was the one kind of feature that was sort of we found really helpful. And I'm going to just demonstrate it quickly from here. And I'm going to call myself. So you're not going to hear anything because that will make an audio nightmare that no one wants. So we set up a test call. So you can see, like, these are down the side were the sessions that I've been using. So we're actively using this with a lot of our customer base already. Okay, now, Kieran gives my phone number to everyone anyway. Right, so this is what I'm basically doing, setting the call up, and then from a customer side, they're going to receive just a message, which I'll open here. And when they open this, it already kind of asks them for permissions for sharing their screen, allowing their microphone to work and things like that. Okay, but once I connect to the session, I have to agree the privacy settings. Okay, so straight away you can see if I'm talking to someone and they've got a problem, something going on with the airway maybe, they can zoom in, come back. And another thing is we can place markers, okay? So that's going to dictate to my screen. Now I can do that the other way, okay? So it's kind of hard to demonstrate this way, but if I was to ask, I've used this quite a lot for troubleshooting with computers, okay? So when people are trying to set certain, let's say, networks up or something like that, if they're not too sure exactly how that's going to work, that's all right. If they're not too sure how that's exactly going to work, you can really set up one of these calls and then kind of guide them through it rather than trying to explain, oh, go to this icon, go to the third option on the left, blah, blah, blah. It just kind of makes it a bit more straightforward for them as well. And also it gets a quicker result. And by using, I mean, it's quite a basic tool, right? But by using this, we started getting some really good feedback. So we found that our customers were kind of happier. They were getting a quicker response time. Because of fault finding of parts and things like that, we could already carry that out prior to having to maybe go somewhere. So now, in the instance where we are traveling, okay, we can already use this tool to find out what's wrong with my simulator doesn't work. So then we can make sure we're prepared for when we go to our site visit. Whereas in the past, maybe that would have been going out, going, oh, okay, I know what it is now, but I need some parts. A week later, going back. It just takes that downtime out. And we were just getting better feedback in instances where we were using this tool. So that's kind of where we are. This is where we'd like to be, or a few things we're kind of working on. So we were tasked, again, me and one of my colleagues in Mainz, of trying to utilize the HoloLens to do more with it. Okay, it's a good product that we have, and we use it for one thing, and that's all we really associate it for. So have any of you had a look at the Reimagining AR stuff? So you kind of get the rough idea, right? It's a wearable camera, essentially. So we're thinking, okay, what can we do with a wearable camera? We had a look around, and there's some good programs already written. So if you have like a Microsoft 365 account, there's already software that we could use to really good effect. But we had to think, but what can we use it for? We don't want to just use it for the sake of using it. So one tool we looked at was a tool called Microsoft Guide. Now, this is like instructional software. And what you can do is build up basic things. So we were sort of thinking, what would happen if we sent some of our simulators, so like this guy down here. Now, we would sell something like this without an installation typically, because it's a fairly straightforward simulator. Then there'd be, I don't know, a user guide to follow that no one would probably read. Then they'd phone us. But what we could do is pre-prepare a guide to guide the customer through what they need to do. Also, we could put in additional content for maybe ongoing maintenance. Okay, so for weekly maintenance checks, like just tips on how to look after a few bits and pieces like that. I'm gonna show you. It should work. Do you mind changing to, okay, the screen of doom. Okay, so you can see there's a couple of guides that I've pre-prepared right here. Now, I've done a kind of bite-sized test of just like some general setup and some other kind of, maintenance checks and things like that we'll look at. So the first thing I'm going to do here, what we do is we need to write some of this content on a computer. So all the written text that you'll see, we do on a separate program. Then we save it in our account, in our 365 account, and then we'd be able to access it here. Now, the two options, author and operator. As an author, because of privileges and things like that, I'd then go and put the available content, so some of the stuff you'll see, like some of the arrows and the directional prompts, I'd add them to a physical simulator. Okay, so if I come into the operate mode, just going to put that back there. Now, what we're going to see is separate text box like this. How do I anchor? So you would have seen when we've been setting things up like the Vimedics, like Lucina, maybe if we're doing Lucina AR. What you need to do is anchor a hologram onto a physical form so it stays in the same place. So when our little prompts are going to appear, they're not kind of over here somewhere or over there. And also it makes it simpler for the end user. Once they've put their simulator down, they can then anchor their holograms to the right place. Now, I've already done the anchoring, but if I just rescan it, I don't need to look, you can see. Okay? So just by looking at the simulator, it's slightly off, so I could rescan it. Okay, and then I just need to follow the prompt here. Okay. Cool, so we've scanned. Right, now, what we can add to this is a number of different things. I'm going to move this here. I've put some video content in just to kind of give you a rough idea. So this is going to be the scenario here. Someone would get a new simulator. Okay, and they want to know exactly what's in the box and what they're supposed to do with it. So if I just play this video here.
This video shows you how to unpack and assemble Ares. Everything you need to assemble Ares is included in the shipping carton. Here's what you'll receive in the basic package. Ares torso and head with tri-state eyes, BP right arm, IV left arm, 2 legs with hardware, male and female skin, wig, and genitalia, screwdriver and arm screw and spheres, silicone spray, gown, laryngospasm assembly, IO pad, blood pressure adapter, SteathoSim assembly. The Aries Advanced package replaces the Tri-State eyes with SIM eyes. The Aries Complete package includes the advanced mannequin features and adds SIM defib.
Okay. Then this video would carry on to a trainer who's going to kind of build the simulator, and we can just follow that. But another thing we've gone, so just to carry on, I can just jump through content like this, and then you'll see I've got some directional arrows, okay? So basically, I'm just going to read what I'm being directed to do, and then by using the icons, it's going to point me to the relevant place on the simulator. So it's telling me to pick it up. You can see, sit the mannequin up, and then there'll be 4 points on the back for the skin. So if I sit the mannequin up, I'll see the 4 relevant points it's talking to here. I can toggle the icons off. If you've got like a lot of icons knocking around that are sort of getting in the way, if I just come to this icon over here, I can take those away. Okay, if I need a reminder, I can put them back. Okay, and then moving on, this is going to tell us some more kind of setup features. Okay, so it's going to point me to the right place straight away. I mean, with this simulator, it's reasonably obvious where we're talking about, but with some other things, it might not be quite so obvious. So this would be a good kind of pointer. And the kind of cool thing about this is that actually already it's taking away the need for someone to get on the phone and call someone. They might not be available. They can kind of just do this themselves, just get started straight away. Okay, I'm going to jump through that, it's the same. Okay, and then we see we're being directed to more pucks just here. Now this is going to start telling me how I can move limbs and things to test them. So if I look here, we've got directional arrows. So it's telling me that already I know I can do this kind of thing here and how it should be free and moving. Okay, checking shoulder joints. So there's a little icon of a screwdriver just here. Screwdriver, I need a screwdriver. I didn't bring one. Is Jamie here? No, okay. I'll worry about that later. So I can see in here, okay, screwdriver point there. Also, it's telling me to check the arms. And if I'm not getting free movement, then I could free it up just here. So it's wanting me to come out, up, down, okay. Okay, and then the same kind of thing with the other arm. So we're going to rotate the arm. And the same deal here. So we should have the same movement. Okay, for head mobility, again, we're just going to be directed. It's just a prompt of, you know, how we should be checking that things are working properly. You don't want to start your session, someone do head mobility and pull the simulator's head off because it's not fixed properly. It's not a good look. I didn't bring an Aries, I bought a Juno because it's the same shape. Okay, then the Crag plugs. So I just want to get to the end so you see what happens when we complete. Okay, so this is another mechanical feature here. So again, it would be another video.
This video shows you how to simulate laryngospasm with Aries. Here's what you'll need. 50 milliliter syringe. Stopcock with yellow tube connection. Aries has laryngospasms that are manually operated. Attach the stopcock and tubing to the laryngo port on the left side of the mannequin. Fill the syringe with 50 milliliters of air. And attach it to the stopcock. Make sure.
Okay, so just to give you an idea, you get the general idea. Okay, we can also pull in, okay, so we can kind of share pictures essentially of what features are supposed to look like when they're used, which you can then check against your own simulator. Okay, success. Congratulations, I'm finished. Okay, so that was one tool we looked at, which we thought would be really good because, sorry, I don't know what's best. I'll do this. Which we thought was really good because it would give people the opportunity to just get things out, get on with it, but also they could really have their guides that they could follow so they know how to do basic maintenance. Now, what I showed you there was all very basic. Okay, but we could do this for anything. We could make content, for example, changing a single board computer on a mannequin. You just go through it step by step, same way you'd follow an instructional manual. But the advantage is we could have videos showing exactly what you need to do. And as you saw, you can place it right next to the simulator and then do it straight away. Then we looked at another tool as well. So we were kind of thinking of the Teletech kind of tool we were already using, which is good, it's helpful, but it does have its disadvantages. One thing, straight away, the end user only has one hand to use. So we found that quite frequently we were working through an issue or a problem or something, then all of a sudden it'd be like, oh, hang on, I need two hands. Put the phone down. Then they go, is this right? No, I don't know. So we were like, we could probably use HoloLens for this because two hands, disco hands, maybe. There's another tool that is part of the Dynamics 365, which is called Remote Assist. I don't know if any of you have heard of it or any of you have seen it at all. Okay, so basically it's not Microsoft Teams, but it would feed into Microsoft Teams. So as soon as we had it on our single sign-on accounts, I basically get access to my CAA directory. So, i.e. Teams. Because we were testing this, we had to find ways we couldn't just go and buy licenses just because we're trying something out, it might be really cool. So what we did was set up quite a few like private licenses. You can do a lot of trials of this stuff. So if it's something you're interested in trying out, you can create trials for Microsoft 365 where you have access to this content. They do it on a month-long trial, and you can extend it for another month if you're still trying it, and you get, I think, 25 seats or something like this that you can use. And it gives you a real good kind of insight into what is possible, what you can do with some of this technology. So I'm going to, this is hopefully going to work. So what I'm going to try and do is to have a quick call with one of my colleagues in Mainz. We'll kind of go through a kind of possibility where maybe something's gone wrong or you need some assistance with a simulator, and you'll see that we'll be video calling HoloLens to HoloLens. Okay, so he's going to be wearing a HoloLens, I'm going to be wearing a HoloLens, and we can then go through the content. Once I get this restarted. Sorry. While I'm doing this, I can kind of talk about sometimes we have actually used this already. So this was again during, I see, sorry. So during the first lockdown, we had a new technician start with us who was based in France, and we needed to install quite a complex simulator. I don't know if anyone's familiar with an HPS simulator, so it's quite a complex bit of kit. And also, it takes a bit of getting used to. Now, this guy was, like I said, based in France. We couldn't travel, so we were thinking, how can we do this? So this is where we used this tool that I'm going to try and show you now. So One colleague was stationed in the Sim Center in France, where he was based. He went with HoloLens, and then we guided him through a 3-day installation of this HPS that he'd never seen before, never touched one. But basically it was just like we were there, okay? And he was just our extended hands, if you like. Okay. Hey, Kiri.
Hi, Tom.
Welcome to HPSN.
Thanks. Happy to be part of it.
So Kiri's in Mainz. Now I can move this window around, okay? And what I'm looking at here is Kiri's surroundings. So this is what he's seeing through his lens itself. And then if Kiri looks up, you can see the team's pool. So, hey, look, there's you guys in Germany, in Kiri's head. Okay, what can we do here? Now, Kiri's got a simulator in front of him. Kiri, I forgot my screwdriver, so some of our plans kind of got a bit wrong. So I'm going to teach you how to take the arms off this simulator. So,
yes, please. I have no idea.
So Kiri's been working here longer than me, you should probably know. Now, what I can see, Kiri, you see this puck just here.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I would need you to take that puck out.
Okay.
And then if you look inside,
Yes.
you'll see a screwdriver position. And I need you to remove the screw.
Okay. Let me get the screwdriver.
I would do it too, but, you know, planning.
Yeah.
Now again, this is a very basic demonstration of just what we can achieve, but this is the exact tool we use to carry out a complete installation of an HPS when someone has never seen it.
Okay, almost out. Okay.
Now if you come over to the other side, you'll see another part here.
The next step.
Okay. And then when you're done, just remove this. I can show you too, look. Now when you've removed, when you've removed here, you'll see an electrical connector. Okay, you see that?
Okay, I see how to remove it.
Okay, now you just pull on the sleeve, and then your arm's free.
Somehow, how I cannot hear you anymore. Okay, I do the same on my side.
Does anyone else have a screwdriver? I could, like, I'm holding auctions. Now you can see while Kira's doing that, I've got these squiggles in right now, so I can pin those out. Another thing we could do here is you can add people into a call. Now this...
Let's connect the cable here.
Thank you. This is going to work with just a general Teams call as well. So what I could do is, thanks Kerry, what I could do is just add in, let's say, an expert in a certain field or something like that. Let's say again I was working with an HPS, for example, and there was something wrong with the anesthetic system and I needed someone who had that knowledge. I could contact them straight here, pull them into a call with the two of us, and they'd be able to again see exactly what we're looking at. which is quite powerful, right? Because, stop waving my hands around, because they could lend assistance with something that we need right there and then, and we'd be able to see the result immediately. So if we're doing something wrong, they'd be able to say, no, wait, go back, this is what you need to be doing. Okay, Kiri, good job. Where are you? Can you show me? He left. Okay, I think we can wrap that call up anyway. You get the idea. That's the bit I didn't want to share. Sorry. Let's do it like that. Okay, so that's kind of what we've been trialing, what we'd like to try and, where we'd like to try and get to. Will we get there? I hope so. I don't see why not. But we're still kind of, we've got to work out exactly how this is going to work outside of directories and things like that, which is all possible. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Does anyone have any questions? Yeah, I mean, so you could do that without all of these accounts and things already. Okay, so how we're streaming up to this screen here is a small little device called the display adapter, a Miracast. Okay, so what you can do is you can port that directly into a Teams call. So when you open a Teams call, right, you can do your device settings and things like that. If you have a little frame grabber, so you know a normal video frame grabber that, I don't know, online gamers would use to stream their screen or something like that. It's the same kind of thing. We can plug directly into that, okay? And then you can stream exactly like I was doing here. Then if you open a Teams call and share your screen, then effectively they're your eyes. So you can just go full screen, carry on what you're doing, and they can sit and observe how that's happening. Anyone else? No pressure. Sorry. Yeah, sure. Yeah, no. So when we're done here, I'll come up and I'll go through it with you. Feel free. Okay, so they made a lot of changes. This is the kind of second generation of HoloLens. They are way better. So the first generation of HoloLens, it was still like a very much production thing. They were quite front heavy, not amazingly comfortable on your eyes, and generally made you quite tired because the field of vision was very narrow. So a lot of times you'd be looking around for things and then you'd catch it because the field of vision was so narrow. But the great thing with this lens as well, the field of vision is massive. Okay, so when you're looking around for your holograms, they're just easy to see, easy to find. Also, it's probably half the weight. Okay, and the extra flexibility for things like this just makes things much more comfortable. So yeah, I'll go through it with you in a bit. Well, I think that's kind of all I've got for you, really. Thanks.